Good evening, everybody. Chris Sheeman here with you. Don't normally do pre-games, and this is certainly no exception to that. Just wanted to check in with everybody since it's 5 after. You might be wondering when the game's going to start. 13 minutes and 20 seconds is what we have left here on the warm-up clock. A little behind after the first game during the Holiday Classic. So, again, starting about 13 minutes from right now. You can feel free to hang out or check back then. And a good evening to you from Brunswick Community College on a rainy day here in North Carolina, eastern North Carolina. It's time for the 9th annual Brunswick Holiday Classic, and this is game number 2. Today's broadcast brought to you by our friends at 3G Transport LLC, and we thank them for their support. Today, it's the Chattanooga State Tigers coming in at 6-4, taking on your 9-2 Brunswick Dolphins. Hi, everybody. Kurshima, glad as always to be with you. Let's meet the starting lineups here as we're just about set for tip-off. First for Jay Price in his 10th season, 230-94 record for Coach Price. And the Tigers starting number 1, Lorenzo Farrell. Number 2, Richard Nunez. Number 5, Kevion Stewart. Number 10, A.J. Morris. And number 25, Anthony Booker. Starting today for your Brunswick Dolphins and head coach Walter Shaw in his 19th season is number 2, Zach Newkirk. Number 5, Tyrese Cheek. Number 14, Brandon Lamberth. Number 15, Mike Melvin. And number 24, Silas Love. So that's the starters for both of these teams. As I mentioned, Chat State comes in at 6-4. Last year here at the Holiday Classic, they had a good result, won 2 out of 3 games last year. They lost against Cape Fear, defeated Caldwell, and also defeated Brunswick. In that game last year, it was the Tigers winning 86-74. They outshot the Dolphins 54% to 39%. A.J. Morris had 20 points in that game for Chattanooga State. For the Dolphins, Devin Hutchinson had 19. He was the only player in double figures. So these two teams meeting for the second consecutive season. The Tigers are coming off an 11-point loss, 100-89 against Motlow State last Saturday. Meanwhile, Brunswick, kind of a surprise, coming off that 94-93 loss against Sandhills Community College. They were outshot in the game 46% to 43%, so the shooting was pretty even. Rebounds were dead even at 49. Silas Love had 33 points in the loss on 14 of 21 shooting. So we're underway with the Tigers controlling the tip, and going quickly is Stewart, and the goaltending called on the Fish. So first points of the game go to Chattanooga State. That was Brunswick's first ever loss to Sandhills. It was a close game, but kind of a surprise. So 2-0 for the Tigers now. Brunswick will inbound it. And the Tigers showing a little bit of that Brunswick press that we see early and often in Dolphins games. No trouble there for the Dolphins, though. Silas Love on the baseline. Tip pass by Newkirk goes out to Mike Melvin, and he'll back it out, guarded by Stewart. Chattanooga State bringing a few players back from last year's squad. Silas Love, good ball movement out to Newkirk. 6 to shoot, and it's right back to Love on the reverse to tie us up at 2 apiece. So a good start offensively. Both teams high scoring, 86.2 points per game for the Tigers. Dolphins averaging 91.3 so far on this young season. Farrell top of the key, turnaround shot. Nunez gets it to go over Lamberth, and it's 4-2 Chat State. Again, trapping pressure, no trouble. Newkirk off the bounce pass from Melvin. Gets it back to Melvin. Swings it to Cheek for 3. Off the side iron, and the rebound to Farrell. Throws it ahead. This is Morris back to Farrell. Thought about a catch and shoot. Good defense by Newkirk. Instead, elbow shot by Nunez. And just like they were in 2017, these 2018 Tigers are hot at the start of this one. 6-2 on 3 of 3 shooting here in the early going. Melvin almost traveled. Love from the baseline. Can't get it to go. He's got that Karl Malone baseline shot, doesn't he? The way he rises. I had a flashback there for a second from Silas Love. Good defense again. It's Cheek with the steal. Cheek glides in for the easy 2. So Brunswick cuts the deficit down to 2 here in the first 2 minutes of the game. A lot of up and down action as Farrell misses the 3. Here's Melvin swinging it out. Newkirk. Mid-range shot, yes. Back-to-back buckets for Brunswick. We're tied at 6 apiece. First game was fun. It was a close game. that Bryant and Stratton won over Caldwell Tech. We won't see Caldwell Tech. And a nice job defensively there by the Dolphins as Cheek almost had his second steal but was able to draw the foul. Tyrese Cheek has played well, 17.3 points per game in his last 3 games. He's shooting 59%. Mike Melvin turns on the Jets. Defender comes to help, and Silas Love with the easy jam. Good to see Mike Melvin doing well. He's got a good stat line on the year, 10 points a game, 4 assists, 4.5 rebounds, couple steals a night. Good all-around player. And that's a throwaway. First turnover for the Tigers. Silas Love is up to 5th in Division I in the NJCAA and scoring at 25.5 points per game. Lamberth swings it back out to Melvin. 3 minutes in, and Brunswick with a 2-point advantage here in the early going. Lamberth had trouble with the pass, able to corral, get it to Melvin. Melvin using the baseline, hangs, scores, and he's fouled. Mike Melvin with a chance for an old-school 3-point play. You know, I had it in the back of my mind because Melvin hasn't started a lot of the games that we've done so far, to kind of talk a little bit about Mike Melvin and coming off the bench a little bit. It's good to see him in the starting lineup. A lot of deserving players. It's a deep team this year for Brunswick, and Mike Melvin so far is making the most of his minutes. And the point that I was going to make before Walter Shaw inserted him into the lineup today is to say that, you know, just because you're not a starter at the JUCO level does not mean that you don't have the potential for joining a 4-year program, getting a scholarship, as Lamberth is called for the foul. Sometimes the pressure is on, especially when you're one of the few sophomores on the roster, to start pressing things a little bit. Mike Melvin has not done that at all this season. He's waited for his opportunities, and he's played plenty of minutes off the bench, too. I don't want to make it sound like he's just riding the pines or anything, but certainly player of the first 3 minutes and 27 seconds of this one. As Farrell gets the inbound, it's swung over to Stewart. Catch and shoot 3 with the hand in his face. Went halfway down, came out, and Lamberth has some grease on his hands today as he let that go out of bounds. So Stewart will inbound, extra possession for the Tigers. Tigers are a Division I NJCAA school, member of Region 7. Of course, the Dolphins D1 Region 8. Strong move to the bucket. Stewart couldn't get it. Then the tip out goes out of bounds, so ball goes back to the Dolphins. Chattanooga State will take on Cape Fear tomorrow at 2 p.m. and wrap up with Caldwell Tech at noon on Sunday. That's the end of the semester for the Tigers. Brunswick plays Bryant and Stratton tomorrow, and then Howard from Maryland. Lamberth at the half circle, no. Good rebound by Nunez. It's a good rebounding team. Chattanooga State, good shooting team. Too strong off the glass from Anthony Booker there, though. Here come the Dolphins. Good start for Brunswick, leading by 5, about 4.5 minutes in, and the moving screen will be called on Love. It's pretty simple for Chattanooga State. They're shooting 50% from 3 in their wins. They've shot 50% or better in 3 of their 6 wins this year. So if they're shooting well, they're going to have a chance here today. And Brunswick looking for a better result against the Tigers this year. Open look, Stewart steps right, fires the 3 off the back of the rim. Lamberth, good rebound that time as he skied for it. That pass from Cheek looking for Love is a little bit too high. Another turnover. That's the big problem for the Dolphins. They're 7th in Division I at 23.5 assists per game, but they're averaging 19.3 turnovers. Back-to-back blocks on the strip. Here comes the Dolphins. Pass deflected out, and it's going to be off the fingertips of Newkirk, so another turnover for the Dolphins. They can get those turnovers under control. They're going to be competitive when Region 10 play starts the early part of the new year. Another offensive foul, this time on Chattanooga State. 3 team fouls for the Tigers, 2 for Brunswick here in the first 5 minutes and change. First sub of the game for Jay Price. It's Josh Conrad, the freshman, and he'll come in for A.J. Morris. Morris, Stewart, Rodriguez, and Booker are the familiar faces returning to the Holiday Classic from last year's team for Jay Price. Alley-oop to Love, a little bit too high, able to gather and draw the contact, though. Foul will go on Booker. That's 4 now on Chattanooga State. Silas Love, 73% at the free throw line. I mentioned he's 5th in scoring in Division I. He's 12th in rebounding. 10.5 rebounds per game. Dude's averaging a double-double. He has 7 double-doubles in the first 11 games this year. He shot 75% or better in 5 of the first 11. 75% from the field or better, not from the line. Gets 1 out of 2 there. Brunswick doubling up Chattanooga State, 12-6. That pass goes off the iron. Daquan Lockamy coming into the game for Brunswick, number 34 on your screen. Silas Love swings it out, pass deflected, good defense, and then Lockamy called for the foul after Nunez came up with the ball. He was held. Lockamy is a player we haven't seen a great deal yet. Good to see him back out there. One of the few returners for Walter Shaw's team. Tyrese Cheek will come out. Coming in is Damon Osborne Harvey. Nearing 6 minutes in this opening half. Brunswick, good defense overall. They're out to a strong start. Nice fake by Nunez, counted in the foul. Richard Nunez putting the moves on. 67% free throw shooter, Nunez. Try to complete an old school three-point play. Both teams with 4 team fouls here in the early going. Weston Edwards coming into the game, the sharpshooter, as Mike Melvin will sit down. Nunez misses the three-point opportunity. Loved the rebound. Newkirk into the forecourt. Newkirk going coast to coast, and it's through the hands of Osborne Harvey. Catching the ball has been the biggest struggle today for the Dolphins, although they do have a 4-point lead. Into the forecourt, Farrell. Rodriguez on the far side of your screen. Nunez back to Farrell. Farrell gets a screen, takes it into the circle, into the lane, pump and score. Lorenzo Farrell, 11.3 points per ball game. The freshman shooting 38% from the field. This is Newkirk spinning, driving, missing. Offensive rebound. Lockamy got tied up. Jump ball is called. Possession arrow favors the Dolphins. 13:21 left to go here in this opening half, and another sub for Walter Shaw. Adrian Scarborough coming into the game. 4 points per game. He's shooting 63% off the bench. Good numbers. 5.7 rebounds as well. Scarborough from the elbow, driving into the lane, cut off, swings it out. Edwards thought about it, takes it baseline. He's cut off as well. Out to Newkirk, he'll set things up. Newkirk to Osborne. Harvey with the hand in his face. Shot clock was winding down. Tip back no by Scarborough. And Chat State able to control. Farrell from way downtown off the back of the rim. Lockamy the rebound. Here comes Newkirk. Osborne Harvey looking for Lockamy, and Lockamy lost it out of bounds. So that's at least the fourth that I could count in my head turnover just by not catching the basketball for the Dolphins here tonight. It's not today, I should say. It's not night yet. It's felt like night all day because of all the rain we've had. Chattanooga State came in yesterday smartly. Rodriguez top of the key, guarded by Edwards, able to get some space. And Chattanooga State short on their threes so far here in the early going. And that's good news if you're a Dolphins fan. I mentioned they shoot over 50% from behind the arc. They usually win. Here's Newkirk. Newkirk out to Edwards. Triggers the triple from the baseline. Can't get it to go. Rebound by the Tigers. And I believe that's Donald Green who came into the game, number 20 for the Tigers. That's Green with it on the left wing. The bounce pass goes to Nunez on the baseline. Swings it out to Conrad. Top of the key, it's Rodriguez. Still 10 to shoot. Rodriguez had it stripped by Newkirk. Throws it ahead. Osborne Harvey throws it down with the one-hand jam. And it's back to 4 for Brunswick. Farrell between the circles. Bounce passes it over to Green. This is Conrad up top. Left side, Farrell fakes the three. Pass deflected. Osborne Harvey takes him on and draws the foul. Farrell might have been better off shooting that three instead of faking and trying to drive. The defense was collapsing. You saw it. There were 4 Brunswick players in the post. So Osborne Harvey, just 47% at the line this season, will go to the line on the 15 foul for Chattanooga State. 4 for Brunswick with 11-12 to go in the first half. Freddie Taylor coming in. Taylor 4.5 points per game, 3.6 assists off the bench. He replaces Newkirk. Another good start to the season for the Dolphins at 9-2. They started 10-1 last year, finished 15-15. They started 8-3 in 2016-17, and they finished 17-14 that year. Deep three by Conrad, buries that triple. Conrad shoots 58% from behind the arc. Got to get a hand on him no matter where he's at on the floor almost. Osborne Harvey couldn't get it. Good effort on the shot, but just didn't go down. Farrell swings it out. Open look for York, who can't get it to go. Quatarius York, number 24 into the game, so more shuffling for Walter Shaw. Osborne Harvey is out. Cheek back in, so it's Cheek, Edwards, and Taylor in the backcourt with Scarborough and Lockamy for Brunswick. And for Chattanooga State, it's Farrell and York on the court with Conrad, Nunez, and Green. Pass deflected by Brunswick. First few minutes, it looked like it was going to be a shootout, but things have gotten sloppy progressively since then. Nunez skies it out to Farrell. It's the 9th annual Brunswick Holiday Classic. If you're waiting for the weather to clear up, come on out this weekend. It's going to be much better. Rainbow shot by Conrad, missed that 3 attempt. Edwards the rebound. Once we get through tomorrow, alley-oop, nice job hanging by Cheek to gather himself and put it in off the alley-oop. Lead back to 3. That pass went through the legs. Edwards throws it ahead for Cheek. Bounce pass goes to Taylor. Edwards flips it up, puts it in. 18-13 in favor of Brunswick just past the midway point of this opening half. Timeout on the court. We'll step aside. You're watching Brunswick basketball here on YouTube. We'll be back shortly. Shout out, of course, to 3G Transport for their sponsorship of today's game. There's tomorrow's game, by the way. We'll have all 3 games that Brunswick plays here in the Holiday Classic. Tomorrow it's against Bryan and Stratton at 4 p.m. here on YouTube. Chris Sheeman, glad to be back with you. Good start for the Dolphins by 5 over Chattanooga State. Tigers with the basketball. Farrell brings it into the forecourt. Bounce past Nunez. Top of the key, it's Conrad, guarded by Edwards. Back to Nunez, using the baseline. Short on the hanging shot, and it's deflected out off cheek. So we'll stay on this side of the court, and the Tigers will get a fresh 30. Give a shout out to the folks in Chattanooga. I know there's a few fans who are watching as there's a wet spot on the court. Good to have you folks. It's Brunswick's broadcast, but everybody's welcome. Glad to be with you here this weekend. Such a good event, too. Again, unfortunately, no streaming for Tigers fans for the rest of the weekend, but come on over, check them out. Make the drive. I know it's not a short one. I've done it before from Chattanooga, as a matter of fact, but well worth it. See some good basketball. Plus a trip to the beach. I mean, do you need more of an excuse than that? Taylor over to Edwards. Edwards steps left, fires the 3, missed it long, and a rebound chased down by Green. Throws it ahead. All alone is Rodriguez, as Brunswick does not get back on defense. 18-15 now in favor of the Dolphins. Here's Cheek. Lockamy. Lockamy turnaround shot is short, skying for the rebound. Conrad. Here's Farrell into the forecourt. Swings it left side to Nunez for 3. Way off. Scarborough the rebound. Now it's Taylor bringing it up for the Dolphins. Just past 9 minutes to go here in this opening half. Brunswick with the lead as Cheek misses the long 3. Nice tip by Edwards. Lockamy can't get it from the elbow. Scarborough tried for the putback. Finally, Tigers able to chase it down. Farrell throws it ahead. Green swings it out. Wide open look. And missing that 3 was York. Brunswick got lucky that time. Dolphins will sub in 2. Tigers 1 at the next whistle. Taylor goes to the right. Here's Cheek, top of the key. Gets a screen, drives, and scores. Tyrese Cheek, I mentioned, has been on fire, especially in the last 3 games, shooting over 56% from the field, averaging over, 59% from the field, and over 17 points a game. Getting more comfortable as the semester has gone on. Farrell up top, goes around one defender, scoops it up, no. Scarborough the rebound, and the foul will be called on Farrell, I believe. So that's 16 fouls now on Chattanooga State, 5 on Brunswick with 7:44 left to go here in this first half. Edwards and Lockamy come out. Silas Love checks back in, and Mike Melvin as well. And I believe that's Jalen Alexander who came in for Jay Price's team. Check the number. It is number 12, Alexander, the freshman. Underneath, Scarborough called for traveling. Rodriguez will sit down. And Conrad, I believe, came back in for him. Correction. It's Kevion Stewart, number 5, back in for the Tigers. There's Stewart on the right side. And he throws it in the backcourt. Mike Melvin's going to pick it up. Mike Melvin goes to the bucket, misses the layup. Then the putback is good by Cheek, plus the foul. That's why, even if you're going to turn the ball over, go get the ball if it's in the backcourt. A bad mistake there for Chattanooga State, and a potential three-point play now for the Dolphins. Jay Price is doing some teaching right now as the three-point opportunity is missed. Look out. That was almost a travel. Chattanooga State, rocket pass by Stewart underneath, and a big dunk by York throwing it down. Inside 7 minutes to play here in this opening half. Halftime, we'll take our usual 15-minute break. Step aside. Melvin, now Taylor. Nice pass by Taylor. Oh, Love couldn't get it, but he is fouled. That was beautiful. Freddie Taylor from Wilmington up the road. And Silas Love, who's 1 for 2 today, 73% overall on the season. The free throws have not been good today for Brunswick. I was watching my Lakers last night. They were like 6 for 18 at one point from the free throw line. How can you call yourself an NBA player and go 6 of 13 as a team? There's another mistake by the Tigers and an offensive foul as Taylor took the charge. And then, of course, they call every foul on James Harden. You can't play. It's illegal in the NBA to play defense against James Harden. Nice alley-oop. Cheek to Love for the easy 2. Sorry if you're a Rockets fan, but it's the truth. Green into the forecourt. So an 8-point lead, biggest of the day for the Dolphins, and almost a steal by Melvin. Instead, they get him on a reach. That's 16 fouls now on Brunswick, so both teams will be in the bonus. Chattanooga State has 9 already. Kevion Stewart will inbound it for the Tigers. That went through Alexander, able to gather, though, near midcourt. Over to Conrad, and that pass was kicked. 12 on the shot clock, and 6:19 left to go here in the half. So Stewart again will inbound it. It's a team, Chattanooga State, normally takes good care of the basketball from right of the lane. Turnaround jumper by Green is no good. They've had 12 turnovers or less in 7 of their first 10 games this year. That's taken real good care of the basketball. A little sloppy here today for Jay Price. Newkirk drives in. Love in a sea of defenders. Got it to go. And the foul. If Silas Love doesn't get a D1 offer, I'm going to start my own D1 program, and I'm going to pick up Silas Love, and we're going to come kick your butts. If Trump can start a university, I can start a university. You send the hate mail to me. Don't send it to Brunswick. So Love trying to complete the three-point play. Can't do it. Rebound controlled by Chattanooga, and the free throw shooting problems continue. But the lead is out to 10 for Brunswick, and now a steal. Scarborough comes up with it. Scarborough to the bucket. No. Love. Yes on the putback. And the Brunswick lead grows to 12. This is not what we're used to seeing from the Tigers offensively. They're 9th in Division I, shooting 54% from the field. And like I said, they normally take good care of the basketball, but this defense has been stifling for Brunswick. What a pass. Oh, man. Cheek. That was beautiful. Love could not come up with it. So a turnover for Brunswick. 5:16 left to go here in this opening half. A.J. Morris is back out there for the Tigers as he brings it up. York, cross court, Morris. Morris, nice moves into the lane, tips it back out. The three is off the mark. Credit Love on the Conrad miss. Alley-oop to Love. Nope. Got it back on the tip, but he was out of bounds. So the ball will go back to Chattanooga. 4:45 remaining. 10 team fouls on the Tigers, so Brunswick in the double bonus for the remainder of the half. Morris into the forecourt. Morris drives in, and that was too easy. That's what Jay Price brought him in to do, though. Nothing happening offensively for the Tigers, and A.J. Morris, one of their better ball handlers, 7.6 assists per ball game. He also averages around 12 points per game. That ball deflected. Good defense for the Tigers. Can they come up with the steal, though? No. Lambert comes, or Scarborough, excuse me, got it right back. The pass went to Newkirk for two. Hectic right now. And another turnover for the Tigers. Oh, wait a minute. Now, they signaled the other way, but I think they changed the call. So it was deflected by Brunswick. More subs in. Mike Melvin back out there. Lambert is back out there. They join Cheek, Taylor, and Love out on the court. Burying that triple is Morris. A.J. Morris, 43% three-point shooter, getting his first here today. Melvin trying to clear some space, and that's an offensive foul. 7th now on Brunswick. Chris Shima, glad to be with you here at the 9th annual Brunswick Holiday Classic. Brunswick went 1-2 last year at the Holiday Classic. Chattanooga went 2-1. Last year, Brunswick defeated a prep school, lost to Chattanooga and Bryan and Stratton. Brunswick, in the last 6 seasons in the Holiday Classic, 8-10 record. Some good programs that have come in. I've enjoyed watching Chattanooga State the last couple of years. Interested to see. They're not going to shoot and play like this the whole game, so they'll certainly more than capable of making a run, the kind of shooting that they have and the talent. Got to take care of the basketball, though. Credit the Brunswick defense picking and poking, and there's an example of it, although Jay Price is screaming for a foul. He might have had an argument. The Dolphins have been very active defensively. Inbound goes to Morris, and Morris traveled with the basketball. So Brunswick will get it back, leading by 9. They've led by as many as 12 here today. Freddie Taylor into the forecourt. Here's Love at the free throw. Back to Taylor. Here's Newkirk for 3. In and out. Offensive rebound. Lambert, the putback, yes. Dolphins back to an 11-point lead, and trying to change that is York. And he is fouled. So Quatarius York, the freshman, will go to the line. 56% free throw shooter. 8th team foul on Brunswick. York averaging 10 points per game, shooting 60% from the field, 48% from behind the arc. 6.4 rebounds, 1.2 blocks per game. Good all-around player. Walter Shaw emptying the bench a little bit as Alex Moore, number 30, comes into the game. And Josh Woodard, number 21, comes into the game. So 2 out of 2 at the free throw line, and the lead is single digits for Brunswick at 9. Newkirk cheek, love, turnaround jumper, yes. Morrison to the forecourt. Morris too fast, and the pass was too high for Nunez. This is a Chattanooga State team that came in averaging 9.6 turnovers per game, 6th best in Division I. Newkirk into the forecourt. Here's Moore. Cheek for 3. Yes. The hot shooting continues for Tyrese Cheek. And the biggest lead now for Brunswick is 14. This is a bit of a surprise. Not taking anything away from the way that Brunswick has come out, especially defensively today. As Moore pokes it from behind, but they call him on the reach. So more free throws to come. Still a 1-and-1 situation for the Tigers. 9th team foul on Brunswick as York will go back to the line. Morris will go out. Coming back in is Jalen Alexander for the Tigers. York front end at a 1-and-1 is no good. Here comes Newkirk and the Dolphins. Cheek. Woodard is it back to him. Now Newkirk out near midcourt. 15 to shoot for the Dolphins. Cheek out near midcourt. 8 to shoot. Scoops it to Love. Out to Cheek. Cheek for 3 again. Not that time, and we're going to get a foul called, I believe, on the Tigers here, on Green, possibly. Josh Woodard will go to the line for 2, double bonus for the Dolphins. Josh Woodard, 57% at the line this season. Can't get that one to go. There are 2 no matter what here. So Woodard trying to salvage the trip, and he missed them both. A rebound by Rodriguez. Rodriguez drives left of the lane, blocked by Love, and then Rodriguez upset with himself because he made the mistake of touching it out of bounds. Minute 16 left to go here in this first half. And Brunswick has been in control since about the early going. Newkirk into the forecourt. Newkirk swings it out. Moore for 3. Can't get it to go. Tip for the rebound. And it's gathered by York. York swings it to Rodriguez. Rodriguez to the cutter, Nunez. Good pass and finish by Nunez. That was a rocket from Rodriguez. About a 17-second, 18-second difference between the game and shot clock here. Newkirk, top of the key. Cheek. Here's Moore. Now Newkirk. 9 to shoot for Brunswick. That went off the foot of Cheek. It's a steal by Rodriguez, who throws it down with the big man right-hand jam. 10-point game now. Last shot time for Brunswick here in the half. So the Dolphins, other than a few too many turnovers, play excellent here, and they will go into the locker room leading by double figures, 38-28. 20 minutes in the books here at the 9th annual. Wait a minute. They might be putting more time on the clock. I was wondering if they were just going to let it go or not. So they are going to put some more time on the clock here. 0.4 of a second will not make much of a difference, but it is the right call. And it will be Dolphins basketballs. Plus, they'll have to go to length of the court. Weirder things have happened. But it will likely just be an inbound and we'll go to the locker room. Which begs the question, why not just let it go? Now the half comes to an end, and now 20 minutes in the books here in the 9th annual Brunswick Holiday Classic, and the Dolphins leading by 10 over Chattanooga State, 38-28. We'll take a break for halftime, come back in about 15 minutes, so don't go too far. Welcome back to Brunswick Community College. Today's broadcast brought to you by 3G Transport LLC, and we thank them for their support. Your score as we start the second half, Brunswick 38, Chattanooga 28. It'll be Tigers with the basketball to get things going here in this final 20 minutes of action. Chris Shima, glad to be back with you. Two high-scoring teams, but Brunswick playing excellent defense in that first half, and they start with good defense in the second half, unable to come up with the steal, however. And then I think we might have a clock issue. So Chattanooga almost turning the ball over. A rare turnover-heavy game so far for Chattanooga. And again, credit the Brunswick defense for that. So the shot clock is at 19 for the Tigers, as we're just getting underway here in this second period. It's the 9th annual Brunswick Holiday Classic. 3 games per day, all 3 days, as the rainbow shot is missed by Morris. Here come the Dolphins. Mike Melvin, what a pass, and finish by Love. The Dolphins running and gunning out to a 12-point advantage. Their biggest today has been 14. Chattanooga led early on, briefly by 4 at 6-2. But for the most part, the Dolphins have been in control of this one. See if the Tigers are able to settle things down a little bit. And watch out for those passing lanes especially, because the Dolphins are ready. They are collapsing, and that was good ball movement that time for the Tigers as Green got the open look, and now it's a steal. Farrell for 3, can't get it. And here come the Dolphins. It's Newkirk into the forecourt. Top of the key, Melvin. Melvin into the lane, hangs, scores, and the foul. Mike Melvin with a chance for an old school 3-point play. Mike Melvin, 69% free throw shooter, and he completes the old school 3-point play. 43-30 now, the lead at 13 for Brunswick, and that pass deflected by the Dolphins out of bounds. Chattanooga State last year 2-1 here at the Brunswick Holiday Classic. They defeated Brunswick last year by 12, 86-74. Outshot the Dolphins 54-39% in 2017. Different story here today. Morris, nice bounce pass. Too strong on the shot. Tip up, no, but the third time is the charm on the tip for Green. 43-32. Mentioned both of these teams high scoring. Brunswick 91.3 points per game. Chattanooga 86.2. The step back by Melvin is no good, and the foul on the rebound is called on Lamberth. So tomorrow, Chattanooga State takes on Cape Fear at 2 p.m. Sunday, they will face Caldwell Tech at noon. That's the end of the semester for Chattanooga State, by the way. For Brunswick, they wrap up the semester tomorrow at 4 p.m. against Bryan and Stratton, and then Sunday against Howard at 2 p.m. Howard from Maryland. Morris with the fake drives, had it stripped, another turnover on the good Dolphins defense. Cheek underneath, and Lamberth can't get it, and a late whistle. And that's going to send Lamberth to the line. How about the passing today for Brunswick, too? They had a little case of the yips early on in the game. Unable to catch some passes, but that's not the guard's fault. Taylor, Cheek, Newkirk, Melvin, all handling the basketball as Lamberth gets the first free throw to go. 2 team fouls on the Tigers, 1 on the Dolphins here in the first 2 minutes of this second half. That's better by Lamberth, just 43% at the line, but gets them both there. Morris into the forecourt. Farrell, excuse me. Green with the hand in his face, threw it out of bounds. And you see Nunez slapping the floor, the frustration for the Tigers here this evening. Brunswick looking for its 10th win of the season. Silas Love cross court to Cheek. Cheek for three off the side of the rim. That's going to go out of bounds. So the ball goes back to the Tigers. They trail by 13 points. Chattanooga State, a Division I member of Region 7. Brunswick, a Division I member of Region 8. Morris, you can't give him that space. Mistake defensively for the Dolphins there. A.J. Morris, second three-pointer today. Here's Melvin. Newkirk on the right. Newkirk looking to drive. Hangs and short on that shot. Offensive rebound to Lamberth, looking underneath for Love. Ball deflected back to Love, who puts it up and in. Just the way they drew it up on that sequence, huh? Farrell into the forecourt, swings it to Nunez. Nunez lost it. Steal by Newkirk. 3-on-2 to Love. Love the reverse. Yes. Silas Love continues his torrid scoring pace, shooting 68% on the season and 5th in scoring in Division I at 25.5 points per game. That's A.J. Morris called for the offensive foul, looking for an explanation. So that's the third team foul on Chattanooga. Frustrated Morris will, I thought he was going to come out. He stays in. Coming out, Donald Green, and staying in, or coming in, I should say, is Anthony Booker for Chattanooga. Just underway here in this second half of play. Lamberth cleans things up. Now Cheek will inbound it. Some pressure shown here from Chattanooga. Mike Melvin. Here's Newkirk. I don't think Newkirk was 100% ready for that pass, but able to open his eyes pretty quickly. Newkirk to the baseline. On the switch, taller guy on him. It's swung over to Cheek for three. Can't get it to go. Rebound controlled by Booker. Farrell into the forecourt. Farrell over to York. York cut off on the baseline, shoots it, and draws the contact on Melvin. Second team foul on Brunswick here in the early stages of this second half. Two more shots for York. That was Mike Melvin's third foul, by the way. It's been not an incredibly tightly called game, but close enough where some guys are going to have to watch their foul totals here. Love with the tip pass. Cheek will back it out. Turnaround shot. That was partially blocked by Booker. Good defense for the Tigers, and Nunez travels with the basketball. You can't see Jay Price on the other end, but saying, use your head. Weston Edwards comes into the game. Game going a little too fast right now for Chattanooga, and it's a team that likes to play fast. Melvin at the top. Zach Newkirk, 8 points, 4.5 assists per ball game to Melvin, and Melvin from the baseline with a nice running effort. Bounce pass goes to Nunez. Nunez throws it up and draws another foul. So both teams with 3 team fouls here in the first 5 minutes of this second half. Nunez, a 67% free throw shooter, freshman shooting 63% from the field, 9 points per game, 5.5 rebounds as he rims in the first one, 1.5 blocks per game roughly. Daquan Lockamy will come into the game. Brandon Lamberth will sit down. Lamberth picking up his 4th foul. So he's going to be sitting for a long while. Both free throws are good, and the lead is 12 for Brunswick, 51-39. Brunswick in control. Chattanooga State doing enough to hang around, though. They've got the offensive firepower to get it going. So far, Brunswick's defense has kept them at bay. Melvin around the world. Top of the key, Lockamy for 3. Yes! Oh, boy, that's one of those ones that if it works, great. If not, what were you thinking? That's Daquan's first three-pointer of the year, first attempt. Farrell's shot is blocked by Love, but they say Love got a piece of him. So Brunswick right now with its biggest lead of the game. Daquan Lockamy bearing the 3. I have to see if I can dig up the records or the stats from last year. I don't know if Lockamy's... I think he might have had a few three-pointers last year. I'm going to check on it. This is not ESPN. I don't have like 5 people around me telling me these things. I got to dig for it while this guy shoots some free throws. The first free throw is short. No, Lockamy didn't even attempt a three-pointer last year. All of last year, so that's Lockamy's first collegiate three-pointer. Looked good. Looked good because it went in. We got a lane violation here, so another crack at it. And another short one for Farrell. Usually a pretty good free throw shooter at 71%. Missed them both that time. 4 team fouls now for the Dolphins as the fouls are coming early and often here in this second half. Mike Melvin bounce passes it to Newkirk. Newkirk swings it out. Edwards triggers the triple. Rainbow shot is good. Brunswick building on its biggest lead now. It's up to 18 points. Driving Rodriguez, and it's stripped by Love. Newkirk loses it out of bounds. And I think they just teed up somebody from Chattanooga, and I believe it's Rodriguez. So that's going to lead to a couple of free throws for Brunswick. And technical foul is on Jaden Rodriguez. And I'm not sure if somebody called a timeout. I'm not sure what the officials are discussing. So it'll be Edwards to shoot the free throws. Weston Edwards, best free throw shooter on the team at 88%. Things starting to get away mentally now for Chattanooga. And Edwards a chance to make it a 20-point game. He does. So they're going to give the Dolphins the basketball as well. So it's Brunswick ball, leading by 20. Both teams now with 4 team fouls, by the way. Rodriguez picks up a personal foul as well. 3-second call on the Dolphins. You know, sometimes getting a technical foul gets the attention of the officials. Sometimes it works to your favor. Rodriguez is on the bench right now, but getting an earful from Jay Price. We'll see if maybe some of the calls start to benefit Chattanooga, though. Lockamy's going to be called for a foul there. Both teams now with 5 team fouls in the first 6 minutes and 17 seconds of this game, or second half, excuse me. Newkirk is out. Coming in is Osborne Harvey. Lockamy picks up his second foul. Fresh 20 for Chattanooga. Here's Stewart. Bounce pass to Booker. Booker using his body, too strong on the shot. Off rebound by Osborne Harvey. Melvin throws it to Edwards. Edwards for three. In and out. Rebound controlled by Nunez. Excuse me, that's Stewart. Stewart into the lane, and York was out of bounds. And it looks like we're going to get a timeout. Timeout for the Tigers will go away. 13-18 left to go in the game, and it's all Brunswick here at the 9th Annual BCC Holiday Classic. Today's game is brought to you by 3G Transports, and we thank them very much for their support. Chris Sheeman, glad to be back with you. We got 13-18 left on the clock. Brunswick leading by 20 here at the Holiday Classic. First game for both of these teams. Chattanooga faces Cape Fear tomorrow and Caldwell Tech on Sunday. And for Brunswick, they will take on Bryan and Stratton tomorrow and Howard from Maryland. And that will come up on Sunday as well. That's it for the semester for both of these teams. Another nice steal by Farrell, who drives in and gets the scoop to go. Jay Price in his 10th season at Chattanooga State, a four-time Region 7 Coach of the Year. 230 wins in 10 years, averaging 23 wins per season. You know this team is not going to quit, despite the fact they're down by 18. Daquan Lockamy with the reverse, yes! And the bench gets up to applaud. Lockamy hit his first collegiate three, and that was a nifty move. Shot no good. Offensive rebound by Farrell. Top of the key, it's York for three, no. Tip for the rebound, Melvin comes up with it. Melvin on the far side of your screen has done a nice job today getting the start for Walter Shaw's club. And away from the ball, they're going to get Lockamy on an offensive foul. It's a 16th foul on Brunswick. And you know what that means. A blowout game and a lot of free throws to come in the final 12-17. Chattanooga has 4 team fouls so far, so they can still be a little more aggressive. 10 fouls in the first 8 minutes is less than ideal, however. Farrell, top of the key. Bounce pass over to York. This is Nunez. Now Farrell. Farrell gets a screen. Open three. No good. Offensive rebound by York. Goes up. Too strong. Put back by Booker is good. 61-43, and another timeout for Chattanooga State. This time a little shorter one, so we'll be back in 30 seconds. So tomorrow's tip time is approximately 4 p.m. The Dolphins and Brian and Stratton from Virginia. We'll have that one for you. Chris Sheeman, glad to be back with you here at Brunswick. Second straight year we've had the opportunity to cover the Holiday Classic here on YouTube, and thanks as always to Coach Shaw for the opportunity. It's always fun, and usually you get some pretty good basketball as Chattanooga has gone to the press. Brunswick, no trouble breaking it. They brought in Freddie Taylor, as a matter of fact, to help calm things down. So you got Taylor and Melvin in the backcourt to handle the ball handling. Shot clock is at 7, though. Taylor with 4. Taylor gets it out. This is Osborne Harvey, and he didn't get it off in time. So good defensive sequence from Chattanooga there. They need about 10 more of those to get back in it. Osborne Harvey is applying some pressure on Farrell, and he's a little over-aggressive there. That's 7 team fouls now on Brunswick, so a 1-and-1 situation for Chattanooga. One of those things that's just not necessary. You're up by 18 points. Don't start to send them to the line and give them a reason to get back in this. Silas Love comes out. Scarborough comes back in. Front end of the 1-and-1, nothing but net for Lorenzo Farrell. Osborne Harvey will come out, and Tyrese Cheek comes in for him. Nunez will come out, and Dimitri Chambers has come in for the first time for the Tigers, and the press works there as Taylor pass off the mark, and then he commits the foul on Stewart. 18 fouls now on Brunswick. We've seen this before. Teams build big leads, and then team down goes to the press and starts to climb their way back. Chattanooga State, Stewart is 80% at the line. They've got some good free throw shooters. Taylor's going to come out, and Zach Newkirk will come on. So you've still got Melvin out there, Newkirk as well. A couple of good ball handlers. 6-0 run for Chattanooga State, though. It's 14. Donald Green comes in. Anthony Booker comes out. Mike Melvin traveled with the basketball. That's another turnover for Brunswick. Chattanooga State gets a bucket here. You might see a timeout for Walter Shaw as his team has started to get sloppy. Stewart will inbound it over on the far side of your screen for the Tigers. Here's Green. Green for 3. Can't get it to go. Lockamy tried to get the rebound. It comes back to Green. Green puts it up and in. 8-0 run for Chattanooga State. The lead was 20. It's now 12. Here's Newkirk into the forecourt. No trouble that time breaking the press. Nearing the midway point of this final half, Newkirk had it poked away. Good defense by Farrell. Running and gunning Chattanooga State. Nunez missed the dunk, but the putback is good from Conrad. 10 straight points for Chattanooga State. They are fired up, and a timeout for Brunswick. We'll step aside and come back. 10:31 left to go. Don't go too far. Game is far from over. Today's broadcast of Dolphins basketball brought to you by 3G Transport. Chris Shima, glad to be back with you. 10-0 run for Chattanooga State. 10:31 left to go here in the game, and Brunswick up against it all of a sudden, facing some pressure here. They went up by 20 points, had all the momentum. Have been out of sorts. Silas Love has come back into the game. Scarborough's back out there with Newkirk, Melvin, and Cheek. 7 to shoot. Cheek for 3. Can't get it to go. Rebound controlled by Chattanooga State. For the Tigers, it's Conrad and Green with Farrell and Nunez and Stewart. Farrell thought about the 3. Instead, the mid-range jumper is long. Love the rebound. Here comes Melvin. Melvin to the lane. Melvin on the reverse, no. Scarborough trying to get the rebound. He's tied up, and I believe they called a foul here. The foul will be on Chattanooga. That's their 5th team foul. Tigers are already in the bonus. 18 fouls for Brunswick. Looks like A.J. Morris back out there for Chattanooga. Conrad's also come back in. Josh Conrad, 58% three-point shooter. Dolphins got to keep their eye on him. Brunswick still up double figures, but the momentum with the Tigers right now. Oh, Love trouble with the bounce pass, and it's a steal by Conrad. Another turnover for the Dolphins. Getting sloppy late in the second half. Morris, yes, and the foul. 12 straight points for the Tigers. And A.J. Morris will go to the line to try to extend the run to 13. 9 team fouls on Brunswick. That was Scarborough's first. So it's also going to be a double bonus for the rest of the way for Chattanooga. 3-point play incomplete, so the lead remains at 8. Newkirk into the forecourt. Cheek in the corner. Love had it poked away. Lazy pass. Stepping into a 3. Unable to get it to go Stewart. The putback by Nunez. Yes. 14 straight points for the Tigers, and Brunswick is completely out of whack. Another turnover, and now an offensive foul going to be called on A.J. Morris. Bodies tangled up. And there's some definite pushing and shoving now. Jay Price comes out on the court. So momentum with the Tigers, and A.J. Morris is the one who was jawing. And they're going to send both teams to the bench and let everybody calm down. So it's an offensive foul. They called it on 11, I think, but it is on A.J. Morris. And I don't know if there's going to be any extracurricular fouls called or not. How about Jay Price? He was out on the court before anybody could even blink. The longtime peacemaker for Chattanooga State. They might call it double technical, if anything. It was, players getting tied up and some jawing and normal basketball stuff, so hopefully they don't get too carried away with it, but Morris is still talking. So the officials are gathered together, and they're sorting things out. So while they do that, we are going to step aside here for just a moment. So the tempers have calmed down a little bit, and they've sorted everything out, and it looks like I wasn't able to see, obviously. We don't have the right angle for it, not being behind the scorer's table, but if I had to venture a guess, it was a double technical called, and it will be Brunswick basketball off of the offensive foul that was called on Morris. So Brunswick has 10 team fouls now, 7 for Chattanooga, so both teams are in the bonus. And now that we've had the extracurriculars, they're going to call everything a foul. So get ready, folks. A lot of free throws are going to be called because referees have a tendency to really tighten the bootstraps once any emotion is displayed. Melvin swings it over to Newkirk. Meanwhile, it's still a 14-0 run for the Tigers. 6 on the shot clock. Love floats it up. Can't get it to go. Tipped for the rebound. Farrell comes up with it for Chattanooga. Doubled up in the corner. Here come the Tigers now. Nunez gets it out to Stewart. Stewart had it poked away by Melvin. Scarborough out to Love. Love, offensive foul is the call on Love. There's lots of wet spots out on the court. It's December, but we're getting a lot of moisture that's coming up from the Gulf Coast, and anytime you have that, it's cold, but it's very humid. So Tigers with the basketball, nearing 8 minutes left to go. Brunswick has not scored in at least the last 2 minutes, and now they're going to send the Tigers back to the line. Again, Tigers are in the double bonus. So Lorenzo Farrell will go to the line. And again, 2 shots. Brunswick was rolling in this game. 15 consecutive points for Chattanooga, with a chance to make it 16 straight here off the fingertips of Farrell, and he does. The lead is 4 for the Dolphins. Cheek, Newkirk back to Cheek. And Brunswick hasn't had a lot of trouble breaking the press. The problem is they've been running the shot clock down so low. Here's Melvin. By the way, Lamberth's come in for Silas Love. Newkirk can't get it to go. Oh, it is tight offensively for Brunswick right now. Nunez, a couple of nifty moves in the lane, can't get the bucket. The putback by York. 18 straight points for Chattanooga. The lead is 2. 7:20 left to go in the game. Melvin on the left. Here's Newkirk up top. Mike Melvin. Melvin, mid-range, off the back of the rim. Another rebound for Conrad. Chattanooga has had an 18-0 run, in part because of the defensive rebounding as well. A lot of one-and-dones for Brunswick. Farrell on the left, slips. It's a steal by Cheek. Cheek to the bucket, got wrapped up in a late whistle. I mentioned it's very humid. So a chance for this 18-0 run to be stopped here. Tyrese Cheek, good free throw shooter, 79% on the season. Can't get it to go. So Cheek will try to salvage the trip. And he does. That ends an 18-0 run, but it's still a one-possession game. 62-49. Farrell between the circles. This is Green. Green steps inside the arc. Can't get it to go. Nice rebound. Scarborough throws ahead. Cheek. Yes. A big slam and hopefully a momentum shifter for Brunswick fans. That ball is tipped and able to gather was Nunez. He draws the foul, so Richard Nunez will go to the line and shoot two. Nunez short on the first. This is a Chattanooga State team that came in 6-4. Brunswick at 9-2, 4-1 here at home. Brunswick over 25 assists in 4 games, 4-0 this season when they do that. Season high 20 steals against St. Andrews. At least 13 steals in 5 games. And that streak will likely continue today. They're 5-0 when they have that many steals. So far today, credit the Tigers, they fought back. Nice pass by Melvin. Scarborough too strong. Cheek follows, no, but Lamberth is there. Third time the charm, and the lead is 6 now for Brunswick. Dolphins settling things down a little bit here. Here's Green from the baseline, missed it back rim. Melvin the rebound into the forecourt. He'll bring it up. Nearing 5.5 left to go. You see Walter Shaw directing traffic for Brunswick. Mike Melvin wants to drive. He does. High shot, no. Tip back by Scarborough, no. Cheek, no. Lambert tried it, no. Melvin fights for it. Somehow kept the dribble as he hits the deck, and Brunswick calls for time. Goodness. These two teams are fighting out there, folks. 5:19 left to go. We're coming back in 30 seconds. Don't go anywhere. .519 remaining, 66-60 Brunswick. This has been a fun one. Brunswick went up by 20, 18 straight points for Chattanooga. This has all happened in the last 7 minutes of game time, by the way. Some technical fouls, some pushing and shoving. Happy holidays, everybody. Mike Melvin, Brunswick, Newkirk driving on the baseline and threw it away. And Cheek will pick it up wisely. So the Tigers will get the basketball back. It'll be Stewart to inbound it. I think there might be another wet spot out on the court. I'm not sure what that was, but back to action. Stewart, here's Farrell, guarded by Newkirk. Stewart for the cutter, Nunez, yes! Nifty move and a nice pass by Stewart, good cut by Nunez. The press is on again. Newkirk from Melvin, here's Scarborough. Scarborough, no call on the contact. Shot is missed. Rebound controlled by Chattanooga. Throw ahead. Farrell, yes, and the foul. The Tigers can cut the deficit down to 1 here. And that's the 4th foul on Mike Melvin. Newkirk's going to come out. Weston Edwards will come in. So Mike Melvin's going to have to be very careful now. 4:43 is an eternity, especially the way this game has gone. So they're cleaning up a couple of wet spots on the other end of the floor, and it's been a problem all game. Again, all the humidity that's in the area, the cause of that. 3-point play complete. We have a 1-point game. Green will go out. I believe York comes back in for him. Silas Love will return for Scarborough for Brunswick. The press has been on ever since Chattanooga went down by 20. They've gone to this press. And Dolphins have been able to break the press, but it has frustrated them offensively, and now they're going to get a push on Farrell. That's their 9th team foul. Mike Melvin's going to go to the line for a 1-and-1. Important free throws here. Brunswick has struggled today from the free throw line. Melvin front end, can't get it to go. The struggles continue. Rebound controlled by Chattanooga State. York with the board. Here's Nunez. Nunez trapped. Farrell swung over to Stewart with the hand in his face. Can't get it to go. Edwards the rebound. Here comes Brunswick. Melvin on the left side. Melvin out to Edwards. Quick trigger, can't get the 3. Love the offensive rebound. Love the reverse. Can't get it to go. Shooting has been a problem in the second half for Love. He was money in the first half, though. Chattanooga looking to take its first lead since it was 6-4. And we're going to have a timeout by the Tigers. We will go away again. 3:43 left to go in the game. A nail biter here at Brunswick. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. Chris Shima, glad to be with you. Brunswick's lead is 1, but the Tigers are fighting and fighting hard here in the later stages of this second half. Chattanooga State looking for win number 7. Brunswick looking for win number 10. And the Tigers with the basketball looking to take their first lead since I believe it was 6-4. I might be wrong about that. Might have been 4-2 or something like that. Here's a 3 by Stewart, missed it long. And Nunez tried to throw it off Melvin, but Melvin able to gather. Here's Edwards for 3. Can't get it to go. Edwards hit a couple in the first half, none here in the second. Pass tip taken away by Melvin. Here's Cheek out to Lamberth, and Lamberth lays it up and in. Lead is 3, nearing 3 minutes to go in the game. Farrell, here's Stewart. Toss back over to Farrell from way downtown. Around the rim, no, and Edwards pulls down the board. A little too confident with that shot. Melvin again on the left. And he traveled, they say. So he picked up his pivot and another turnover. A.J. Morris will come back into the game. Nearing 2 minutes left to go. 1 possession game. Here's Farrell on the left. Swings it over to Morris. Morris pass deflected and taken away. Melvin throws it ahead. Again, it's Lamberth, and again, he's got the easy 2. 2 possession game. Big bucket there for Brunswick. Here's Morris. This is Farrell. Open look in the corner for York. Can't get the 3. Edwards. Make sure it's a one and done. Edwards will bring it into the forecourt, and a reach is going to be called on York. Inside 2 minutes to go. And that's the 10th team foul, so Edwards will get 2 free throws no matter what. And that's important because if he can hit them both, he can extend it to a 3-possession game. Barring anything crazy like a 4-point play or anything like that. You get it out to 7 with under 2, and you're feeling pretty good. Missed it. 88% free throw shooter. Can't get that one. Gets the second. So it's a 6-point lead. Still 2 possession. Plenty of time for the Tigers. Brunswick has made it very interesting, but they have not relented the lead yet. And you got to give them credit because they have been out of whack, or they were out of whack for a good portion, a good stretch of this second half. Morris hits it over to Farrell. Deep 3. Can't get it to go. And Melvin touched it last, so we're going to stay on this side of the floor. Nice pass underneath and a good cut. Moving without the ball. Conrad gets the easy 2. And a timeout for Chattanooga. We'll step aside. 1:25 left to go in the game. 4-point lead for Brunswick. Can they hang on? Here's our next broadcast for you. We've got 2 more, tomorrow and Sunday, and that'll wrap up the semester. Then we'll be off until January 5th. Brunswick by 4. They have the basketball. 1:25 left to go. More press on for Chattanooga. And the Dolphins able to break it. And now they'll run some clock here. Let's see if Chattanooga State fouls. Not really necessary at this stage. Mike Melvin drives in. Edwards for 3. In and out. Love the put back. No, but he's fouled. Oh, man, that did everything but go in for Weston Edwards. Same deal with Silas Love. And another chance to extend the lead out here for Brunswick. Silas Love at the line, 73% on the season. Short on it. Man, the free throws have been a struggle today for Brunswick. If they're unable to hang on in this final minute and 1 second, they're going to look back on a lot of things, but free throws will be at the top of the list. Good thing for either one of these teams, it's going to be an emotional loss or an emotional win, but you've got a quick turnaround. Chattanooga State's going to play at 2 p.m. tomorrow, and Brunswick at 4. So not a lot of time to think about it one way or the other, and that might be a good thing for Brunswick and Chattanooga. So 1 out of 2 at the line, but the lead is 5. Inside a minute to go now. Chattanooga doesn't have to play frantic, but they do need to play quick here. Get a good shot. They got one from Conrad. Good three-point shooter. Missed it from the baseline, and Lamberth is going to be fouled. No harm, no ill intent there. Good sportsmanship, as both of these teams have been a little heated in the second half. Understandably so. So Lamberth hits both of these, and we're back to what we were talking about a moment ago, which is it's a 7-point game, and with 45 seconds, 3-possession game, it's a little difficult for Chattanooga, not impossible. So you're in the driver's seat if you're Brunswick. If he only gets 1, Chattanooga State still alive. And Lamberth has not shot well, from the free throw line this season, but he's hit his last 3 here. Make it his last 4. So the lead is 7, and now if you're Brunswick, just don't foul. Let them have the 2. If they want a 2, give it to them. And that's what they do, wisely. So 5-point game with 38.7 seconds. So the official went. Now there's an extra second, I think, added to the clock. So 39.7 seconds is the correct time on your screen. Now, if you're Chattanooga, go for a quick steal. Now they have to foul. Oh, they get the steal instead. Edwards gave it up. Good defense by Conrad. Here comes York. York for 2. 1-possession game. Shot clock is off, though. Cheek breaks the press. Chattanooga will still have to foul here, and they do. Uh-oh. Morrison, Cheek tied up for an extended time, and now Cheek will go to the line. 23 seconds. Even if you only get 1 here, you're feeling pretty good about it if you're Brunswick. Ideally, of course, you want to always make them both. But Cheek misses the first. Tyrese is a 79% free throw shooter. Got the second, though. That's the important one. It's a 2-possession game now with 23 seconds. And we're going to have another timeout. So we'll keep it here. Both teams are in the double bonus. You've got a 4-point lead for the Dolphins. Possession arrow favors Brunswick, too. Another important key here in the final closing seconds. So if you're Chattanooga here with 22 seconds, you can realistically extend it to about a 3-possession game if Morris or whoever's handling the basketball does something similar to what they did in the last possession, where they go for a quick 2, commit a quick foul, instead of, you can't worry about the steal at this point unless it comes to you immediately off the press. You've got to, if you're Brunswick, inbound and then foul off the next make. That could be the strategy. The way that Brunswick has struggled with free throws, that would be my strategy. But I'm not Jay Price, and I haven't won 230 games in 10 years. So we'll see what he draws up out of this timeout. It'll be interesting to see. Keep that in mind that they do have a very good three-point shooting team. In fact, they're third best in Division I, shooting 46% as a team. They got the look that they wanted on the last possession where they went for a 3. Look out for Donald Green. He's 71% from three-point range. Look out as well for Rodriguez if he's in the game. I actually don't know that I see either one of those guys in the game right now. So we'll see how they play it out. Brunswick's going to come up, apply a little pressure to make sure they can't just roll the ball up the court. So they will go quickly, and Morris lost the ball. Gets it out. Open look for Farrell. Can't get it to go. Offensive rebound. Nunez the putback. No. Love corrals. And Brunswick is 10.6 away from clinching a nail-biter. Oh, we had a great opening game between Bryan and Stratton and Caldwell Tech, and this one has been outstanding as well. No matter what Love does here, it's a 2-possession game. But with 10.6, Chattanooga's got to think about the 3-point shot regardless. Love gets it to go. Chance to put a little icing on the cake. He does, and the lead is 6. Timeout now for Brunswick. So we'll step aside. 10.6 left to go. Dolphins in control. We'll be back. Ten seconds left to go here in this one, and Brunswick on their way to their 10th win of the season. Chattanooga State, barring a miracle here, will fall to 6-5. Farrell can't get the 3 to go. Love the rebound, and that will do it. 77-71. Tip your cap to the Tigers. They fought back from 20 points down to make this a very interesting game, but the Dolphins lead for about about 38 of the 40 minutes. So Chattanooga State falls to 6-5. They take on Cape Fear tomorrow at 2 p.m. And the Dolphins improve to 10-2, 5-1 here at home. And they will host Bryan and Stratton here in the 9th Annual Holiday Classic tomorrow at approximately 4 p.m. We'll have that one for you here on YouTube, so be sure to come on back. For everybody here at Brunswick, my name's Chris Sheeman. Once again, your final score is Brunswick 77, Chattanooga 71. Happy holidays, everybody. Talk to you again tomorrow.